Alright, so going through your VOD here, there's a couple fun things to point out. So let's go right to the start right away. I hate the fact that you're holding on this bridge, okay? I would absolutely love to see you either holding over on the silo or holding actually down in the garage. Down in the garage we'll come back to in just a second because that's a little bit of a different hold. But on the silo, I'm a huge fan of that because I'm sure if you play a little bit of Widow or if you've seen things at all, you know what I'm referring to. But you come right over here on the silo and you can get a really cheeky shot. I shouldn't have done that. Should have been able to see their spawn. You can get a really cheeky shot right into their spawn, and it's so clean 90% of the time that it's fantastic. And then the best part about it is almost the retreat route, because as soon as you get that kill, you don't want to stay there because the Widow over here will pick you off, but you just go right over here and you can hit more shots to where they will be by then. It's so clean, unlike when you're standing on the middle, because when you're here, what that means is that you have to shoot straight down, and you almost never want to shoot straight down, because what that's going to lead you to is that's going to lead you to getting shot when they're coming out of spawn by almost anyone. Even like an Aoora can zone you out because so say you're sitting behind this wall here. So you're just having a good old time. This is you. And then Aora's got her green bullets and she's just chilling. And so she's just going to keep on shooting right here. And she never ever has to reload because she's Aoora. And so you quite literally can't move. You're zoned out and you can't get any value at all. So I love going here and then dropping back and getting a shot off here, and then that allows you to keep rotating wherever you need all the way until you're over here holding great sight lines or up here. Alternatively, I say that I like the garage because it's something that kind of will work the same. It's like a one-time pick and then you got to get out of there. So there's a car right here. So if you actually position yourself behind this car, you can actually, and again I messed up, I should have been able to see their spawn. Okay, so let's see here. Car right here, and you can actually position yourself right behind the car, and you can take a shot right into their spawn, and then you kind of have two choices. You rotate over here, up and out, or you need your team to cover you a little bit because there's a little wall you have to pass, but you go right here, up and out. And so even if you just start here, you can get a better leading shot and then move here. I still don't recommend moving there, but at least you would be getting some value, where if you sit here and you get zoned out and you just shoot into a Reinhardt and a Aoora shield, you did nothing. So no Widow there. Even if there was, their Widow shouldn't come out there. Their Widow should come out the left door. And here you are, shooting into a shield. Not providing any value, really. A couple shots on the Bastion, it looks like, which is just fine. But that's not really going to get you anything crazy, especially if he's not within dying. So, okay. So I want you to take a look right here. So, check this out on half speed and tell me what you see here. Well, you can't tell me. But so the shield breaks, and look at who you could shoot here, okay? You have multiple good targets here. You have a Hanzo. You have whoever that is. I think it's Brig or something. Diva, Aoora, Bastion. So who should you be shooting here? There's only really 3 right choices, and there's one super right choice. Super right choice is Hanzo. Now, I say that, but I do acknowledge that Hanzo got an armor pack. You couldn't have known that before you were going to make the shot, though, so that would have been the best shot to make, because you could have killed Hanzo. But if he got an armor pack, well, you still have Brig, who's a one-shot headshot, and you have Aoora, who a one-shot will take most of her life. Shooting a Bastion from the front is not going to give you any value unless he's going to die. And he's probably not going to die in their spawn, especially because whoever their second healer is about to pocket him. Yeah, the Mercy Beam's already on him. And there's the Hanzo. Even peeking out that side there is so risky because Hanzo could have had a Sonic on you, and that would have been the end of your entire everything.
Did that sting?
Okay, so sitting down on the floor here is only good if you're going to go for a flank. Against their comp, you're very, very difficult to go for a flank, though. The fact that you actually, the fact that you actually pulled that kill off is ridiculous. Make sure you're letting your charge rates hit high enough every time. If you're shooting in a 60s, you're just wasting a shot. And it looks like a couple of those ended in the 60s. So watch this here. Oh, nice. One. So here's what happens here. Your mechanics allow this flank to work really well, but what actually happened over there is you could have just pumped shots. You killed the Orisa. You could have just pumped shots into the Bastion, and the Mercy went to res the Orisa. You could have gotten the same kills there, and Hanzo couldn't have threatened you because you would have been on the high ground. You would have had a really good time if you would have just stayed where you were.
Nerf this.
So you popped your sights when you were down 3, and so you're popping your sights when you only have a Mercy and a Aoora and you. And so none of you are going to be able to touch the point against a Brig Orisa D.Va. So I don't agree with popping your sights there. You're not going to get any value out of them, and even if you do, it's not the kind of ult that you're going to ever get like 6k out of, and so you're not going to win that fight. And now you need to start thinking, have I been up here too long? And the answer is yes. If D.Va wants to kill you, she could have killed you. 170 health, and actually you had 140 with a health pack right next to you. So, two big things here. Literally a health pack is right here. Right here. Just off the screen. If you would just go right over there, you'd be at full health. Second thing, your grapple cooldown is on 10 right now. You can go behind this wall so that you live. Instead, you walk right across here. You should have died walking across there.
Oh, let's break it! Damn!
Okay, so right here, you needed to start backing up sooner, because you're going to die. Yep. So here's what happens here. So you take this interesting flank route, which could have been good, but you see two people coming from you who are very likely, either one of them could probably kill you solo, and they're coming together, but thankfully they're both slow. So here's what you do. You don't take the shot, you run away, because even if you take the shot, you're not going to kill both of them. If you would have run away, so right now you start going up these stairs, forget about the shot, and then you could have actually jumped down here. So here's what you would have done. So you would have backed up to the stairs, walked off the side, fallen down, and then grappled up into the window over there, and you would have gotten away just fine. Instead, you died when they're already about to cap, and so you guaranteed their cap at the second point.
Heroes never die. Helden sterben nicht.
And Bastion just got 2 kills, so your Mercy had to go and kill him. If you would have dropped down and grappled up, you actually would have been right by the Bastion, so you probably could have got a nice shot. So right here, I saw it for sure this time. I thought I saw it earlier, but I did see it for sure this time. So check out these shots that you land on the Bastion. They're not full charge shots. So both of those last 2 shots, you shot in the 60s, so 65 there and 63 there, and so you're not getting full damage out of them. And then you're popping your sights when they're about to cap the point again. So you're not getting the value out of your shots or your ult that you should be. Like right here, you should be dying. I don't know why their McCree ulted. Like they just didn't. They just capped the point. But that diva should have came for you sooner, and you would have died. Instead, she waited for your Pharah to back you up and then came for you. So you hear the res, and you respond to it late. Oh, and then you miss your shot. So here's the thing. Baby Diva, that was a nice shot there. Baby Diva is literally useless if she can't remech. So against a target like a Baby Diva, don't go for the resing shot if you're not confident you're gonna hit it. So right there, right here, you waste your shot because the res is still going on. If you would have waited, she would have had to remech. She may not even know you're still there, or if she drops down to remech, and you hit a beautiful headshot on her and she's done. Instead, you have to do this, and then your pure skill has to carry you there. You could have made your life so easy.
Americans.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Can you hear that diva? That's your diva, thankfully, but if that was the other diva, you would have died. So you gotta be careful in knowing the time. This is a good position. This is the position you should be taking because your team is kind of stuffing them there, but you threw your mine way too close to your left. So the mine that is right here, right there, it's landing. I'm gonna show you where it's landing. It's gonna land. The mine you threw is literally going to land like there. Okay? So here you are, just chilling, shooting, and here comes a McCree that they have. Mine, flashbang dead. Nothing to it. Because your mine isn't far enough, especially if you start moving towards this wall. I mean, even like a Reinhardt starts coming up these stairs, stands right here, and he can hit you. A Brig can hit you. The Diva can hit you. Especially if they play it well, and what they would do is have someone come here, you'll use your hook to go over here, and then the Diva will fly up to you and you'll die. And you were literally useless then. So keep in mind where you're throwing your mine, because if you threw it down here, and you could tell when someone was coming, you wouldn't have that fear.
Nerf this! Take cover! I'm back in the fight!
Cease your resistance.
So you switch targets. Well, okay, so first off, there's the Brig that I was talking about. And if you didn't hear, your mine wouldn't have saved you, so you would have died. But second off, you switched targets like 4 times during that fight, and so you ended up killing nobody. Commit to a target, even if it's a tank. If you're not confident if you can hit a shot, keeping their tanks at low health is a fantastic thing to do. Right here, same thing. Both of those shots you shot in the 60s. So you only had to wait a couple more percentage and you would have gotten way more damage.
I needed that.
Their Mercy just suicided to try and kill you. I want to see you grapple to that left high ground. Where you're standing right now, you can't get any shots. See, so this is good. This is unfortunate. You shouldn't have rotated over here. Yeah, alright, so the Diva's now gonna threaten you, and... Oh, is she gonna kill you? No. Okay. So the Diva now ended up threatening you, and it jumped down. Okay. So here's what just happened there. So the Diva threatened you because you moved to this window, but your enemies were only right here. I have to mark it, otherwise I forget. So you moved to this window, okay? But your enemies were right here, so you actually could have stood here and continued to get the shots on them just fine. And then the Diva would have to fly right into your face, right past your teammates to get to you. And so you would have been so much safer here. And you wouldn't have had to drop down. So your Mercy actually could have healed you even if that diva came up there, and you would have been just fine and able to apply pressure the whole time. Instead, you moved over here, got like one shot off, and then spend the rest of the time running away. I want to see you grapple back up top. Your grapple is up. You should be back up on that left again.
Oh, system
The
buzzing.
battle continues.
Let's get started.
So you haven't hit tab at all. So have you been watching your kill cams? Have you noticed that they now have a Sombra? Nice shot.
Helden sterben nicht.
And there's the Sombra in the kill cam again. And now you see the Sombra. But have you noticed that that's that Sombra's like third or fourth pick? So she's probably coming up on EMP, which is also going to change the way your team plays. But because you're not in voice at all, or at least I don't believe you're in voice at all unless you recorded the audio separate, even then, they would show up up top. So you haven't told your team at all that they have a Sombra who has EMP. And now you guys got EMP'd. There was no reason for you to be by your team, and if you would have known that they had a Sombra for longer, I bet you wouldn't have stood by your team. This is a time where it actually makes sense to push up to the second window. The diva is by the first window, the Sombra is dead, and so or the McCree was dead, so you can have a much better time.
30 seconds remaining.
They're almost out of time. My gift to you.
Nice shot.
So you guys have to win this. You got the diva, the Sombra has used her EMP, Supercharger's a big ult, and your Torb is feeding. Up on the left high ground again. Oh, why? Don't overshoot the high ground like that, especially not in this last second kind of thing. You don't need to be contesting the payload right there. You have teammates that are going to come back and contest it. You could have stayed up there and even just shot them in the back. Is that it? Yeah, it is, because your 4 DPS carried you, weirdly enough. I like that you went out the right door. That's the correct door to go out of, generally, for the Widows on this map. Okay, so you do know some of the cheeky Widow spots. This is a very cheeky spot, especially on offense. If they had another Widow, you'd be dead. And you would know that if you had hit and tab. Hit tab. I would love to see you pop your sights the second you get it here. So boom, got your sights. I would love you to throw them. You could have known exactly where that Moira was. You could have known. You weren't looking at this window, so you have no clue how many people jumped down. It could have been their whole team for all you know. You wouldn't have had to stress about that Ashe. You could have, and then you popped the sights when your team is up 3. So now you're just kind of wasting your sights, because even if you get the other 3, your team has already won this fight.
Merci.
Did you get value out of that fight? Yes. Could you have gotten so much more? Yes. Okay, so this is weird. You know there's a Moira over there, and you're about to push into the Moira. Yeah. You're lucky you didn't die right there, because if you were 2 steps closer, you would have died. And are you now chasing the Moira? That is not going to end well for you. Moira v Widow is a very tough one-on-one, and you need to be very confident in what you're going to do to prevent that. If a Moira has gotten that close to you on a Widow, you need to run, not run into them. It's unfortunate that you and your Torb died to a single Moira, because that really pushed back your offense.
Payload's moving out. Keep it covered.
This is good, going behind them where they're not going to exactly be ready. If you could have hit that shot, that would have been beautiful. I don't love to comment on mechanics 100% because I can't just tell you to just aim better. There's ways for you to aim better. You can study different schools of aim, you can change your sensitivity, you can play some of the aim booster games. That's unfortunate. I don't know why you went for that health pack. Yes, you were low, but there was no one who could threaten you because the Moira was ulting under you, so she wasn't going to hit you. The Reinhardt wasn't going to hit you. I just don't agree with the fact that you went for that health pack, but I understand why you
My
did.
ultimate is charging.
My barrier's about payload is on its way. My barrier's down.
Thing of beauty.
So all of those shots you just shot there, they were all like half charge, and so even if you would have hit a headshot, no one would have died. That's one thing to consider. So sure, you got 3 shots off, but no one would have died. So you would have actually been better to shoot 1 full shot.
Bob, do something! Helden sterben nicht.
Nerf this.
So it does look like you have probably lost this fight. And that's like the second or third time you've grappled on the ground and grappled very close. I don't know if that's you're not looking far enough when you do it, or if
No one can hide
okay, or if you need to change your hook sensitivity. But you should be trying to grapple further than that, obviously. Second thing, please don't pop your sights here. You can still see the respawn icons of your teammates, and not one person on their team has died. So your sights aren't gonna... Nice shot. Your sights aren't gonna get a 6k, and you're not gonna turn around this fight.
No one can hide from the hunters.
So let's see this here. You pop the Ashe, and then you back up. That's what I was scared of. So you actually kill your only threat on their team, and then you back up. So you made your job easy. So starting right here, you could just move more forward. Because check this out. D.Va and Ashe are really your only threat right now. D.Va and Ashe. So from there, you've got a Moira, I think Mercy's about here, and Orion who's here. You can see the tip of his shield. They're all 3 free shots for you. Not a single one of them can threaten you, and D.Va's playing with your soldiers, so you don't have to worry about that, and Ashe is dead. So to me, it seems like maybe you didn't realize that you killed all your threats, but you could be taking free shots with that Rhine right now. And then they got off the res because you backed up. You could have turned that into a 2-3k, and instead, because they got off the res, it got turned into a 0k, where you had to go ahead and kill the Ashe twice. I am happy that you killed the Ashe and it worked out, but how disappointing would it have been if they rezzed that Ashe and then she just headshot you, and that was the end of that fight. You can tell you play Widow a bit, because that's a very cheeky shot, shooting through that. I don't even think they're going to touch, are they? Nope.
Victory.
Good game. Good game, well played. But you're making your job actually hard on yourself with your positioning. If you would modify your positioning a little bit to a point where you make your shots easy for you and you commit to your shots, you would actually be having a better time. I think every single visor you threw, you got 1 to 2 kills during it, but 2 of your visors, at least, off the top of my head, you threw at totally random times. So what if, instead of throwing that visor when your team has already lost the point, you just waited for the next point, 30 seconds later, threw it, got 2 to 3 kills again, and now you delayed your enemies for quite a while 2 to 3 of them respawn. And while your team cleaned up, got more alt charge. So I really think that you'll have a good time if you focus on your positioning to make sure that you're making your job easy, and not just exposing yourself to unnecessary danger, and focusing on your ults. But other than that, it was a pleasure to watch, and I wish you the best on your climb.